Sideline Sports Report, I think, Sports Network, tweeted out a graphic, post-spring projections, top quarterback in each state going into 2023.
You want me to guess?
Tennessee.
I'm going to say Joe Milton 1, Seth Henigan number 2.
Well, you'd be wrong because it is Seth Henigan number 1, and it doesn't matter who's 2.
Wow.
Because your boy Seth is number 1.
That's kind of wild to think about.
You don't
right?
agree with that?
It's not that I don't. I just assumed that Joe Milton would be number 1.
Is Joe Milton good?
It's pretty dang good. I mean,
I've seen some Joe Milton ball games, and kid's got an arm.
Yeah.
But if you're throwing it in the first row of the stands, it doesn't really matter. Or
That's true.
If you're running out of bounds on the last play of a game.
That's true. What are we talking about? Seth has looked great, I think, for the most part. We've seen different versions of Seth, right? I think freshman year, he took us by storm. He kind of surprised us. I don't think anyone was expecting Seth to be Seth his freshman year, right?
Sure.
Especially coming off of years and years of Brady White, right? You didn't expect anyone to come close to that. And I haven't looked at the numbers, but he's pretty damn close to being one of the all-time passers in 2 years. It's pretty impressive. Look that up. I think this year he has a chance of scratching the surface at number 1. I think. Getting close. But, I mean.
Just yardage-wise?
Yeah, just yardage-wise. So if you have a good year this year, I mean, and they're, by all means, they should have a good year this year, right? I think this is Ryan's.
He is currently 5th.
Yeah. What's the yardage?
6,893. Brady White is obviously number 1 with 10,690.
At a 3,200, I mean, what are we talking about?
It's 37-ish, 3,800.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, but he's scratching. He's getting pretty dang close.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, he's been very good for us. I think since we don't have the wins to back it up, people kind of tend to write it off kind of situation, but he's been pretty good, man.
I mean, it's achievable. He threw for 3,600 last year.
Yeah.
And that was, did he miss a game last year?
No, not a
that was
game.
UCF 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was limited in that Navy game. Big things coming from Seth this year.
Let's hope so. Projections over under 3,400 yards.
Oh, over. If he plays the whole year, over.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he threw for 3,300 2 years ago, and he missed basically
really?
2 games.
Okay, well, I'm going to change that number, 3,600 then. I don't want to copy
You're
the same yardage.
essentially asking me if I think that he takes over the number 1
Yeah, I mean,
this year.
essentially, yeah. I thought he was much closer than that, honestly. I thought like a 3,200 year would do it.
Gosh. That's tough. I'll take the over.
Okay.
Big year.
Kenny, you want to jump in there? Over under 3,600 for Seth this year?
I'm going to take y'all's word for it. So what does that put him at then? Does that?
It's only been done 4 times in the history of Memphis Tiger football. So
Let's say he
maybe
goes
take the
over.
under.
How much is he? So you're saying if he goes over 3,600,
He needs
how much is he until he passes Brady?
like 3,800 to pass Brady.
I say he passes Brady this year.
Yeah, you get a bowl game on top of that. I mean, he can definitely pass it.
And a conference championship game, 100%. He needs 37.97 to pass Brady.
No pressure, Seth.
But you got to take into account.
That's a lot of yards.
I know it is.
Timmy Chang. That's who's doing that.
Only 2 Tigers have ever thrown for more yards in a season. That was Brady White in 2019, threw for 4,014 yards, and then Riley in 17 threw for 4,257. Riley was slinging that thing.
He was. Everything was a deep ball to Anthony. Though.
Yeah, I mean, of those 4,200 yards, 3,100 were to Anthony.
Does it have his average on there?
No.
There's going to have like a 17 yards per attempt.
Riley threw for 471 twice in the same season.
Yeah, Riley, those offenses were huge under him, but it was literally the same thing nonstop.
Yeah.
It's just rip a big bomb to Anthony downfield. And it was untouchable.
So Seth will definitely pass Riley this year. He's only about 1,100 yards behind him. Will likely pass Paxton in third. He's only 2,000 yards behind.
Where's Martin Hankins on that list?
Hankins is sixth, right behind Seth right now at 5,700, almost 5,800.
I kind of thought he may be ahead of him.
And is that not a wild stat that he's about to pass all those guys? And wouldn't you say that his receiving core has not been as talented as the other guys that are above him?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, he's
the
had
exception.
Calvin.
Yeah, he had him per year. I mean, Riley was only 2 seasons too. But yeah, I mean, Paxton and Brady, I would say, had better receivers.
I think, dude, this gets tough because who is better between Calvin?
I mean, he also had, Calvin played that year hurt a lot.
Which year?
Seth's freshman year.
Yeah, that's true. He had the ankle thing.